This isn't for the faint-hearted. You gotta be a weird person like me to enjoy this. So I'm finally doing my henna tutorial. I've been wanting to do this for a really long time. I've been using henna in my hair for a few years, since 2014. I've always been like a naturally minded person, and I think it just naturally happened. Like it was gonna happen one day, and it did, and it was in 2014. I kind of ruined my hair with a bunch of bleach back then, and I wanted my hair to be healthy again, so I found henna. So when I use henna, I make sure that it's a natural, pure product, that there's no added chemicals or weird ingredients. The kind that I buy is from this brand, Morocco Method. The only two ingredients in this is the henna leaf and indigo leaf. Indigo is natural too, so when people say to make sure it's just pure henna, that's if you want your hair bright red. If you're like me and you like more of an auburn, like a brown, chestnut, whatever type of color, then a blend like this is actually really good. It's henna and indigo. Indigo, I think you can use pure indigo to dye your hair black. Sometimes if you don't use enough henna with indigo, your hair could come out a little green. So it's what balances out the color. So yeah, I like this brand. My favorite, I think, is actually the Lush henna bars. Those are nice because it's ready to go. All you have to do is add water. So the only difference between what I'm gonna do today with this brand of henna versus the Lush bars is that those are pre-made, so it has everything in it already. Like there's shea butter in theirs, I believe they use, and they use coffee grinds. They put some form of acid to activate the henna. It's already blended with the indigo like this is, but it's just like ready to go, and all you do is add water. I use apple cider vinegar. You could use a lemon if you wanted to. You could use lemon juice, but it's easier to just use the apple cider vinegar. I also use black tea. I brew it really strong and let it cool off. My moisturizer of choice is olive oil. I've used all kinds of oils. Olive oil works great. I have it right in the kitchen, so I don't have to buy anything special to go with it. I use some Celtic Sea Salt. That's supposed to deepen the color. I use a tiny bit of Amla powder, which also is supposed to deepen the color. Now here's the thing. There's a million different ways to do this. There isn't one way. It's kind of like cooking. You have a similar dish made differently in different regions of the world. Different families make it different. Everyone has their reasons why they add certain things. This is what works for me. There's people that would argue that I'm doing it completely wrong, and that's fine. I honor their opinion, but this has worked for me for a few years now. It's worked great. So yeah, just, I don't know, give it a try. What's the worst? It's not gonna, well, it could fry your hair. You gotta be careful too. If you have chemicals in your hair, if you've dyed your hair, used relaxers or like perm solutions, you want to make sure you let your hair detox for at least 3 months. If you're like me and you wash your hair almost every day, you could probably get away with detoxing for maybe a month before you add henna to your hair, but you're making a big commitment by putting henna in. If you have intentions of using chemical dye again in the future, you might just want to pass on the henna altogether, because once it's in your hair, it's not going to lift again. You can't really work with it. It's why hairdressers don't like when people use henna, because it prevents them from being able to do their job. But for me, I love henna. I use it. I've been using it for years now, and I know that I'm not interested in going back to chemical dye. So I'm good. But make sure you detox first, and make sure you realize what kind of commitment you're getting yourself into before you use henna. I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna get everything mixed together and show you how I do it. So Morocco Method, they send instructions with all of their dye, and I recommend that you follow them and get familiar with the ingredients and you know, why you use certain things, and then with time you can start to tweak it for yourself and for how much time you have and what ingredients you have. I've tested this out, so I'm not gonna fully go by these instructions today. I'm gonna do my own thing, but yeah, these instructions are pretty thorough, and if you follow them, your hair will come out nice. This is what comes in each pack. You got the the henna and the indigo and the instructions in each package. So first things first, I'm gonna add the 2 bags of medium brown henna. And just keep in mind this is doubled what I'm doing here. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is slowly start adding the black tea until it's the consistency of yogurt. It's easiest to get all the clumps out in the end if you add the tea slowly, because when it's thicker, you can really smush it together and kind of like press out the lumps. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You always want to add the oil after the tea, because something about the oil, once it mixes with the henna, it does something to it. I can't explain it, but it makes it harder to stir it. And now I'm just going to add a dash of sea salt, maybe 2 dashes. And I'm going to just, I don't know, add like a pinch of Amla, however much a pinch is. There we go. You really don't need to add Amla. I have it and I figured I might as well use it, so whatever. Now I'm just taking some plastic wrap and putting it over it. You always want to take measures to keep the henna from drying out, because when it's dry, it doesn't work. It only works when it's moist. And that's one of the reasons why we add oil, because it just helps to keep it moist. Okay, I'm gonna keep it sitting like this for a few hours. I'm thinking 3. I'll let you know. I'm gonna keep checking back on it to see how it looks. You can kind of see the red seeping out of it when it's ready. The instructions say to leave it overnight, but I don't have time for that today, so I'm just gonna leave it for a few hours. I've done it before and it worked great. All right, so it turns out I forgot to add the apple cider vinegar. I get so distracted when I'm trying to record things, so I'm just gonna add it now. So I'm just gonna take 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. So the henna's ready. It's been a few hours. What I'm gonna do is take the packets of indigo and add them. I'm gonna take what's left of this tea that I made earlier and slowly add it and stir it. The indigo goes last because it doesn't need to develop or activate at all. It just goes in right before you put it on your hair. Now I just have some filtered water. Alright, so it's supposed to have like a yogurt consistency. All I know is this is good. This works. This is what I like right here. I have a bunch of towels down and newspapers, and I have a few things ready before I start putting the henna on my hair. I have 2 plastic store bags. I have baby wipes. I have plastic wrap, a bunch of extra hair ties, a clip, and 2 gloves. Oh, and some oil to my skin. It's really important that your hair is clean when you start. It's not like chemical dye where you want it to be dirty to kind of protect it, like the natural oils in your hair protect your hair from the chemicals. This is the complete opposite. You want your hair really clean, so it has a clean surface to absorb into. Another important thing is you want to make sure you have like an old outfit on that you don't mind trashing, because it's going to get really dirty. What I have on over my old t-shirt is this hoodie, and in the end I'm going to be able to put the hood over my head and wrap it, and it'll keep everything nice and warm and protected. So I'm putting my gloves on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start applying it in sections, and you'll see what I mean as I'm going. Henna doesn't really move around. Once you put it on your hair, it's there. You can't like spread it, you can't move it, you can't really massage it. You just have to put it where you want it and then move on. You'll see what I mean. I'm just getting a handful. I'm just going to go and I'm just going to start putting it on. Oh, I'm already getting it all over me. Okay. Okay. I was gonna put oil on my skin to protect it from getting dyed, and I forgot. Oh well, I really don't care. I'll wipe it off in a minute, but yeah, so this is why you want to use 2 packages instead of 1, because you really need a lot everywhere. So I have this top section good to go. I'm just gonna take apart, and I'm just gonna keep going. And it's already getting everywhere, so I don't think you can just like be extra careful and not get it on everything, because it's pretty impossible, and it's probably going to get on your hands too. You can't care too much. Now you just want to kind of pull it apart a little and check for some dry spots that you missed. Now I'm just gonna go along my roots. I'm just trying to get it into like just a good spot on top of my head that'll stay for a few hours. This is a disaster. That's alright. It's always messy. Like I don't think there's ever been a time I did this and it wasn't. I'm gonna wipe it all off. Yeah, this isn't for like This isn't for the faint-hearted. You gotta be a weird person like me to enjoy this. Okay, next is the plastic wrap. Like I said, you want to keep this as dry as possible. I mean, you want to keep this as moist as possible. Once it dries, it's not doing anything. Like, it needs to be like a liquid thing happening on your head. So we're going to put the plastic wrap. Ugh. Now I got these shopping bags. And this is where the hair ties come in handy. I think just one is fine. That's such a mess. But that's why we wear the hoodie, because the hoodie is going to kind of cover that, and it's just going to keep it from getting all over your house. It won't keep it from getting all over your skin, but it's all right. That's all you gotta do. This just kind of keeps it from dripping down your back. The tie, it puts pressure at the bottom of your neck, and it'll trap the drips from going down, because it does like kind of separate the liquid from the henna leaf. Like it separates, and the watery stuff it will start dripping because it's warm on your head. It really makes it meltier. But yeah. All right, so I'm gonna leave this in for I'm gonna try to do the full 4 hours. I might just do 2 or 3, I'm not really sure, but I'll check back in with you in a few hours and we'll see what it looks like. All right, so it's been 3.5 hours about, and I'm ready to get this off. I want to do it especially while there's still daylight. See, it's dripping down my neck here. I'm gonna go rinse it off and I'll be right back to show you what it looks like. It came out really nice. I love it. You can see the red in it. So tomorrow after I wash it, I got henna on my lens. That's awesome. So anyway, it needs to oxidize overnight. So I'm gonna just wait until tomorrow morning when I take a shower and wash it, and I'll style it and make it look nice, and I'll show you what it looks like tomorrow. All right? Between the haircut I have right now and how healthy my hair is and the color, it's perfect. This is like exactly what I want my hair to look like. And yeah, I think the way that I showed you how I do it, it was pretty easy compared to a lot of the other ways that other people do it. I really cut the time down and the process down. Some people, they'll have you do 2 colorings, one for the red and one for the indigo. But I think the way that I did it comes out just fine. Yeah, I mean, it was still a lot of work, but I think I made it easier than other options that are out there are. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is something I've been doing for years now, and I love it. Don't be afraid to try if you want. If you have any questions, ask me. And yeah, good luck, and thanks for watching. Bye.